Hello, my good people. Welcome to the day, and I apologize for the delay. I was ready to go. I was a little bit delayed watching the Astros, but I was still on time. But Scotty decided he wanted to go on a bathroom break. And I was going to be a terrible owner and make him wait 2 hours. But then I said I won't be that bad of a guy. So I took him. And so it took a little bit, right? So see weird stuff on the interwebs. But I'm glad that you are joining me this evening. We're going to talk about billionaires. We're going to talk about capitalism probably more so, but we're going to talk about billionaires. And should there be billionaires? There's been a lot of talk, especially with some of these presidential debates and people surrounding them. And I don't know if y'all been watching that CNN Exposed thing that Project Veritas been doing again. Like most people say, nothing new, but it's actually good to hear it from the horse's mouth. But let's see who's joining us. Let's talk about it, and let's get to some good conversation. All right. And I know some of y'all may ask, well, where is Scotty? Scotty is outside of the door, and he ain't coming in because he gets on my nerves. Let's see. Only one lot, Sweet Berry. Culture Anubis, what's the motherfucking deal? Rashida Reed, what's the motherfucking deal? D the Gamma, always good to see Miss D the Gamma. What's the motherfucking deal? Let me see. Mary, what's the motherfucking deal? Beyond a funny nigga, what's the Beyond a funny nigga? I'm laughing at the pocket. Man, I was like this close. No den tonight. I'm gonna watch the Stros, but can't do the den fold like that. Hey, when you got something, you gotta stay dedicated to it as much as you can. Okay. Let's see. But beyond fun, Nick, your podcast promo. You told old girl quit smiling so fucking. I probably watched that shit about 10 times. Oh, that shit was fucking hilarious to me. Let's see. Who am I missing? If I miss Ain't White Persuasion in the building. Miss Bell, what's the motherfucking deal? Solis, what's the motherfucking deal? LaDon Mellow Moonchild, what's the motherfucking deal? Chill HD, what's the motherfucking deal? Cartier in the building, what's the motherfucking deal? You go to Paraguay? Well, I had something funny, but it wasn't that funny, so I didn't say it. Because then people already think that I'm a lady assaulter, abuser. Oh, there's a Heidi here. Heidi's in the building, everybody. What's the motherfucking deal, Heidi? I gave Heidi a flaccid time from time to time, so I guess I could be nice and just give Heidi a regular greeting like everyone else gets, right? So I want to talk about I want to talk about billionaires. I want to talk about capitalism, and people have a problem with it. And I want to know, is it that people are really concerned that billionaires are hoarders? They're hoarding all the money. They make new money all the fucking time. It just might not be in the right industry. But people are upset. More Earl Grey. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds spiffy, right? I'm just sipping some Earl Grey tea with my crumpets. But is it people? Are they really concerned about the well-being of the country, or is it that they're really envious? And that's what I wonder, because you hear the things that people say when you talk about people who are well off. Bad and bougie, what's the motherfucking deal? I didn't mean to miss you. I don't know if I missed you. If I did, I didn't mean to dish you. Crass and Heartless, what's the motherfucking deal? Wise Ben in the building, what's the motherfucking deal? No, actually, the Yankees scored right after I cut it off. Eastside Hero, what's the motherfucking deal? And then, like, as soon as I was cutting off, like, they start, they start double fisting the fucking Yankees. Like, they weren't down by fucking 3. But it was crazy how when they were up by 1, I think last game, they swore the game was over with, and it was a done deal. Or or whatever, whichever game that was. And now the Yankees are down by 3 and they're back on their fucking. That's the pitch you gotta swing at because. Anyway, so here's my thing though, right? So I wonder because people say things, we talked about Robert Smith a lot. For those of you who don't know, Robert Smith was the black gentleman who went and basically paid for all of the guys that was at Morehouse, everybody who was graduating in that class. And they said that would be upwards of like $40 million of paying all their student loans, all their student debt off and everything, right? Then people said, well, he's got more money. He should be doing more. You niggas didn't even know who the fuck he was. Nobody knew who he was. Like, I'd heard of him before because I tell you, from time to time, what I like to do is because I get tired of the narrative, right? Because there's a certain group of people feeding you a narrative, especially if you're black. And, people are catching it on the sidelines. They may not be looking, but they're believing the same narrative too because they're getting the same information. And that is if you are black, you can't win, you can't be successful, you can only be an entertainer, you can only be that. It's about the choices that you fucking make, right? And so niggas was mad at him. Well, he's a bill. You've never heard him. Now you're telling him what to do with the fuck what he should do with his money. You've never supported this man. You don't even know what he does. You don't know what his industry is. Never heard of him. Never listened to him speak. So I watched a few of his speeches, and he's just a very intelligent dude. And I watched some interviews with him. He did a black conference a while back, like Black Business Conference. And I think that's where I first came. I'm like, who the fuck is this? And so I spend time, every now and then I'll look up successful black people because I hate to hear that fucking bullshit ass narrative, right? That bullshit ass excuse. Oh, well, it's because of this, it's because of that. And the funny thing about it is that these people come from, the majority of them, who go on to be successful, who go on to be millionaires, come from the same backgrounds as everybody else, man. Come from the same, and because it's the motivation to not be poor, the motivation of knowing what it is to struggle, to never have to deal with that again. But yet people have an opinion on all of these people. I have no envy for rich people, right? We're going to talk about Elijah Cummings too before I open up the line. Because I find it very interesting how he's been painted. If you notice all the articles in which he's been painted, I said I'm going to wait till now. I'm going to talk about it now. But he's painted as a anti-Trump, a guy who was there to block and stop Trump. Not about his history. He's been in the fucking politics, 40 years or so in Baltimore. It's funny because we've had people call from Baltimore and say that he was a terrible, terrible person, right? But they have nothing on the resume to talk about. It's unfortunate. I'm not wishing death on anybody, but it's unfortunate that he died. But the only thing they have to put in the headline with him is a guy who was pertinent in blocking Trump or part of the Trump impeachment, or that's his legacy. His legacy of being in politics for 40, 50 years is only the last 3 years or so. You know what I'm saying? That's fucking crazy. I mean, that tells you that again, it's a mission. They'll use anybody. Anybody can be a pawn. Anybody can be used as a ploy in this game. It's fucking politics is a dirty game. But anyway, getting back to rich people. I don't envy rich people. Like I used to tell you, I used to have when I used to be of a different thought process. I used to think differently. I used to be a lot more ignorant. I'm still ignorant in a lot of ways. I mean, we talked about wise people not knowing what they don't know. There's a lot I don't know. There's a lot more I can improve upon, and if I don't, it's only my fault. But when I started looking at things and I started reading things, I started realizing that, most people who become successful become so out of a necessity. And what I mean by that is they make it a necessity. You determine what a necessity is, right? You determine what is mandatory in your life. We talk about needs and wants, and some people don't really know the difference. Some people don't know or understand. A want, and when you speak in terms, and I think the words you use are very important. I talk about that often, especially in the sauce, because a lot of people misconstrue the things I say, but I word things a certain way specifically, but people don't really like to listen. But a want, something you like to have. A want is something you're not going to go after necessarily as much as you would go for a need, if you get what I'm saying. A need is something like, it's almost like fucking air. You have to have it. And I'm not trying to use the Eric Thomas reference, but it is a need. You need air, you need water, you need food for sustenance, you need these things. So you're going to go after, you're going to do what you got to do at least to have this. If a person is impoverished and they have nothing else, they're going to try to make sure they get these things and some Jordans. But, I think that you have to look at it. And so people who find success, they look at life in a different way. They look at it as a necessity that they wake up and be successful. They look at it as a necessity that they wake up and they do better. And you're like, well, what does all this have to do with being rich, being billionaires, millionaires, capitalism, whatever, right? Well, where I'm taking this is the reason I don't hate billionaires, the reason I don't hate very well off people is because one day I intend to be one of them, and it would be foolish of me to hate myself, right? But aside from that, the reason why I look at it like that, I don't think it's wrong with that, because if you look at most people who are well off, they've done it because they served people. And I'm not saying like a butler or a waiter or at a fucking, Denny's or some shit. They serve you at Denny's? It's been a long time since I've been at Denny's. Gotta give you something at Denny's. Anyway, but they create a service, they create a need or something that people want. And I saw Culture was saying something in between early in the chat as I was kind of going back and forth between the Astros game and trying to fucking edit a video that I did already and didn't fucking save, or I got well into the video and I didn't save and I had to start from scratch, and that's annoying. So that definitely pushed some stuff back. But you have the choice. That's what's beautiful about capitalism, that people don't realize. Like, capitalism gives you the choice whether or not you support these people or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, instead of getting mad at them, then don't use their products. It's people who are sitting here tweeting on their fucking iPhone 11 Pro Plus XLT double XL Magnum Edition and talking about, man, billionaires are terrible people. They're hoarding all the fucking money. Just stop buying their fucking iPhones. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, like, what you don't realize is, yes, billions and billions of dollars, it may be too much fucking money for one person to spend in a lifetime. But they don't have to. Because guess what? They get to pass it down to their family. They get to pass it down to whomever they want to. And they get to choose whatever because they earned it, right? They earned it. So my thing is this, right? It's like, who are you to tell people what to do with their money? Because if you're going to tell rich people what they need to do with their money, it's funny how when the opposite happens, and somebody who's rich and well off tells somebody who may not have it like that, hey, well, you need to be more frugal with your money. Maybe you shouldn't spend it on this. And people get livid, right? Well, you can't tell me what to do. And people get mad because I don't have as much or whatever it may be, right? And so my thing is, it is what it is. But I'm gonna tell you something about the Donald. The Donald is a funny thing, right? Because like I say, I'm not knocking anybody who gets their hustle on. I don't care if you're able to pull the fries. Now y'all know what I'm talking about. Damn y'all for exposing my evil plot. I've been eating a bunch of bullshit. So anyway, again, I'm not mad at anybody for having money. Do whatever the fuck you want to do with it, because it's the people who support you that get something out of it. Now, again, talk about capitalism and why I have no issue against it, because it allows a person who's driven and determined, allows a person who has a goal, a worthwhile goal, to be successful, to have everything that you want in life, right? And if you're willing to drive for it. Now, some people get upset about it because they don't want to see billionaires, they don't want to see millionaires, they get mad about that. And let me tell you why they get mad about that. It's a very simple reason why people don't like rich people or don't like people who are well off. Just Sarah, what's the motherfucking deal? They don't like people who are well off. And I think Shannon, the girl who likes to go to gay sites, Jones, is in the building. It's because they've given up. That's the only reason why. If it gets to a point where, wow, Mahomes died and they still won. It gets to a point where they feel like they can't anymore. They've lost the opportunity. That's why they don't want to see other people rich, because they feel like they don't have that opportunity. They won't ever have that chance to be rich. Because I guarantee that, say one of these people win the lotto, they're not gonna say, "Oh, this is too much money. Let me just give it back. Let me just give it away. Let me just give it away for because it's just too much to have." And so my thing is, I don't understand. I can't comprehend. I guess back then I kind of could, but it wasn't even like I was just hating. It was like, man, It's a lot of fucking money. I would like to have that money. It may have been more of an envy, but then when you have a realization that you as an individual, if you are creative, if you are determined, if you are, conniving, then you can have anything, right? But we talk about that they should disperse it and they should give it all up, and that, well, not we. Certain people say they should give it to this. Well, that's what you want. So why don't you become rich and do that instead of trying to tell somebody else what they should do with their money? I wouldn't give a shit if Robert Smith spent all of his money on fucking cocaine and hookers, right? If that's what the fuck he wants to do with it. Nobody complains when motherfuckers in the strip club been buying change. It's funny because it's like we put this on certain people. Nobody complains about that because they entertain you or they do this. It's always the people who you really have no affection for, you have no connection with, that you want to get mad at. People mad at Jeff Bezos, right? Well, Bezos makes your life super fucking convenient. Probably quick poll, just a quick poll, right? How many people in here have used Amazon? 1, if yes, 0, if no. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I would like to know. Just really quick. Because the reason why a lot of people who get rich is because they provide a service. They provide something that people benefit off and use. Shannon, make a decision, Shannon. Goddamn. No, 0 is 0 is no, 1 is yes. And that's the thing, right? That's the thing. And I also saw that Amazon, and I know people have said, "No, I will never be normal, Heidi. I'm anti non-binary, so I use the binary code." And so my thing is this, right? And I know people say it's hard work. It's it's very hard work. I imagine it is. At one point in time, I worked in a Walmart distribution center, and it was very laborious work, very, very painstaking work. And you were time, but I was a much younger man. I was a much more physically in shape man, so it really wasn't an issue for me. But I would see old people there struggling to make it, and technically wasn't a quota, but hello, love Jess here in the building.
$5. Let's get the donations going. Honcho needs the Trump router.
I'm gonna get the make the internet great again, right? Appreciate the love, Jess Sarah. Shout out to Jess Sarah. But my thing is again, like I say, what's his name? He got rich. Didn't he start off with eBay money or PayPal or whatever it was? Elon Musk. Elon Musk should do this and do. Elon Musk is gonna let you go to outer space, so you better put some respect on his name while you play Tetris in your Tesla, motherfuckers. But that's what I'm saying. It's while people are just looking at it as working literally for Amazon, but yes, you have Amazon FBA type people. You have people who put their products, who've made it easy for people to sell their homemade products or whatever things that they on Amazon. People can buy shit from China, rebrand it, put it on Amazon, make it look like something else, and sell that shit. And they become millionaires doing it. That's what it is. It's just people want something to be right in front of them and make it simple. eBay, I like eBay. I told y'all, like I said, I'm not a Trump supporter. Okay, I'm not a Trump hater. I don't really give a shit. But it was a point in time when I was on eBay making fucking money selling Trump fucking merchandise. You know what's so beautiful about that? Didn't give a shit who was buying it. Nobody knew who was selling it to them. I never touched the fucking merchandise. Now, I got lazy and got away from it. I probably should get back to it. But, so I guess for that, I like Trump because he made me money, right? He fucking made me money. So I guess I do like Trump. I am a Trump. If his products fucking sell and I go back to selling this shit, maybe I do like his shit, right? But what people got to fucking stand is like, you got to change the game. If you want to be in that conversation, if you want to be that, you can do it, especially in the day and age of the internet. It makes it so fucking... But the fucked up thing about it, I'm pretty sure the stuff was made in China. Maybe Mexico. I don't know. But either way it goes, man, there's so many fucking opportunities to fucking make money, man. And people just, again, like people expect that the job is going to give it to them. The job is, I'm going to go find this fucking job that anybody else can do, and they should pay me more than anybody else. You know what you want to make? If you want to make more money at your job, let me tell you how you do it. You make your job more money. Now, if you're not in a position where you have that ability, you're not going to make more money. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. If you can make your job more money, if you can make your job increase their income, then I think there's a way to do it. All right, Heidi. I'm going to bow to your Chinese dictatorship. You force me. But, but yeah, and that's the thing, man. That's the fucking thing. Like, yeah, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something, okay? And I peep stuff and I pay a lot of attention. I'm glad you said that, Culture. Because if I wanted to be that guy, I could easily be that guy. I could be like, and I'm not saying that Willie D's not genuine. I'm not saying, I think Phil, the dude, whatever the advisor, I don't think he's genuine. I know a lot of y'all hate Tommy Sotomayor, but I feel like he's genuine about, his beliefs. But I don't like him because I think he's kind of feminine in certain ways. I'm not going to say I don't like him. I stopped watching him because of his behaviors or questionable. See, the reason why the Den is slowly but surely, like I look at all this stuff, and most people say, well, hey, if you're trying to be successful, you're trying to be busy, if you're trying to grow as a YouTuber, if you're trying to do all these things, then why are you not doing this if you know what you're supposed to do, right? Because that's not, I don't know, it's just not the way I want to have a right. I want to have different conversations, right? But if I wanted to target one particular niche and talk about that every fucking night, you would grow exponentially. Period, point blank. Because people who are looking to have that conversation are going to come follow you and blow the fuck up. Miss Me, Shelley Long, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad y'all could join us. I could sit here and I could, if I wanted to bash black women all day, I could do that. And blow up, because there's a whole demographic of people who want to, it's a lot of black men that want to talk about that shit. It's a lot of people from other races who want to see black people bash each other and all these other things and do all this other stuff. So, there'd be a huge demographic for that. Okay. And I do talk about a lot of black issues. Y'all swear I'm attacking black people, but my motive is to motivate or point out flaws that need to be improved for certain things that I feel like we need to stop doing. Not just say, oh, look at these shitty motherfuckers and offer no opinion or insight or some semblance of a solution, not just to point out the problems, right? So, people would fucking jump on that. It'd be super easy. It would be super easy. Like, look at some of the most successful videos that were around. It was the Jesse thing, the Brittany Bowen situation, things like that. I could target that type of stuff all fucking day if that's the guy that I wanted to be. Not having these random, one-off conversations here, one-off conversations there, and just be all over the place. But that's the conversation I enjoy having. Let me fix that. So again, trust me, I'm well aware of certain things, and and I think about it. I talk to my old lady sometimes. I'm like, well, you should probably do that. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to fucking do that. I don't want to be that guy because like I say, it's an issue that makes me feel like I'm being disingenuous, like I'm feeling like I'm fraud. Well, let me just attack this particular angle just so I can watch a bunch of old messages start popping up. It'd be very funny. But I don't. That's just not me. Like maybe it's this misperceived character issue, whatever. But anyway, get back to Millionaires and all these other things, right? But there's so many ways. Like, so there's so many angles these days, especially using the power of the internet.
Heidi Kleindienst donated $7 through Super Chat. Special announcement. Kleindienst 2020. Nothing is great again. #NIGA. Heidi Kleindienst donated $2 through Super Chat.
See, don't do all these fucking old messages.
When you getting married? Stop the.
That's what happens when you cut on the super chats, when you cut them on and off. And
Veronica Vessel donated $5 through Super Chat. Now I see you got messages.
It. So I ain't even balling like that, y'all. Throwback messages. J&J, what's the motherfucking deal, man?
Heidi Kleindienst donated $10 through Super Chat.
What you talking about?
Honcho Alles gut zum Geburtstag, meine Lieb. Happy birthday. Love you.
But yeah, like I say, and the thing, like I say, there's so many angles to doing this thing, man. But like I say, I guess I have some type of level of yeah, I don't know what just happened. Enabling the fucking the fucking super chats for Heidi. But see, that's what happened when you bow down to the white woman. She just fucks up all your stuff. Chinese people and white women, they're dangerous. But you gotta love them. But my thing is this. So my thing is this. It's, let me put this here so I can do devilish stuff in the background. Here's the thing, right? But I want to know your thoughts when we open up the line here. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know how you feel. I want to know what it is about your thoughts on millionaires, billionaires. Should there be a cap on the money? Because we've seen some of these Democratic candidates say, "Oh, well, people are making more than $10 million a year. We got to start putting caps on it." To me, that kills ambition. That kills motivation. And then what's it going to make people do? Well, I'm going to take my fucking money elsewhere. I'm going to take my assets and resources. I'm going to take them elsewhere. You make more than $10 million a year, we're going to tax you $70 million. So you're telling me, or after $10 million, you get taxed, I think it was something like that. After $10 million, you get taxed, what? No, for no. There was a stream. I'm not going to tell y'all when, but it was probably within the last month and a half, maybe to 2 months, that I did fart on stream and nobody heard it. I was super surprised that nobody did. TMI, maybe. But I'm surprised, as aware as all of y'all are with everything, that I find it extremely interesting that nobody caught it, that nobody heard it. I find that very amusing. I may have to do something special for anybody who can figure out when it was. But I can't tell you. I don't think he was in here the day that I did just there. So I don't believe. I don't think anybody caught it, because when it happened, I was looking at the chat and trust me, nobody. Like, I was super surprised. Like, nobody said anything. Like, it was on the level of, it was somewhere in between the wink and the cush. It was like in between both of them. It was a little worse than Winks. Wasn't quite as bad as Shaq Cushes. So it definitely happened. But I meant to talk about that a couple of days ago. But so here's my thing. No, I was I think I was on camera when it happened. I think I was. But so my thing is though. But my thing was this. I want to know how y'all feel about millionaires. I'm going to learn how to speak. It reminds me of that girl in my fucking English class in like 7th grade. Millionaires, billionaires. Do they benefit or do they harm society? Do people who say that millionaires, billionaires shouldn't exist, are they really thinking about the benefit of the country? Or is it a personal vendetta? Is it, how what do you really think? That's what I would like to know. And again, most millionaires are first generation millionaires. So people sit here and say, oh, it's old money and all that. No, it's creative people who fucking get tired of their situation and they fucking go out and get it. You know what I mean? So, excuse me. All right. And that's my thing though. And that's another, I'm glad you mentioned the point before we open up the line. You also have to think about that. It's the people with money that create the jobs, right? You can't necessarily create jobs if you don't have the assets to do it. It takes money for research and innovation. And if there should be no billionaire individuals, should there be billion-dollar companies? I mean, so what I'm saying is, so that means do you break up your Apples and Samsung and all these other places, or do they end up going elsewhere? You know what I'm saying? But here's the deal. What you got to understand is this. I think people focus on the wrong thing. Like Ms. Rashid was talking about last night, the guy making $400 suits for black guys in a demographic who probably doesn't wear suits. Well, maybe you're aiming at the wrong thing. He should be targeting maybe custom suits for millionaires, right? And upping his fucking price, or people who are doing well off. Hey man, look, I'll spend a little more time making the suit. I'll do a little bit more creativity. Well, this is instead of a $400 suit, this is a $1,200 suit. And, you know, it's a little bit better than whatever it is. And now I know I'm going to get paid because the guy has the money. I'm not hoping to do all this other stuff. So maybe he's targeting the wrong demographic. The industries where the most success is service. Service industry has been booming for the last few years. Again, why? Because if people are making more money and you are offering services to people who got money, guess what's going to happen? You're going to make money. And if they got money, they like those services, they're going to retain your services. So it is what it is. You say, well, I was going to make something rich. Yeah, I heard of a company, man. I was just listening. I'm like, wow, there has to be a shit ton of money. I mean, no shit. There's a shit ton of money in golf. Business deals are made on the golf course. All right, I'm going to open up the line. I've been talking for fucking 40 minutes. I know I had y'all waiting for 5. Scotty had y'all waiting for 5. Prepaid, what's the motherfucking deal? But here's the thing. There's a service, a specific ass service. I love loopholes. Loopholes are great. Anybody can benefit from loopholes if you just learn the loopholes. And that's the funny thing. Like, you know, motherfuckers in the hood get all kind of fancy name brand shit. I've never heard of a motherfucker in the hood slanging La Perla. So, but here's my thing though. The fucking golf shit. There's a service that if you're flying all over the place, businessmen, this is who they're catering to, who go places to all over the country for business, well, they'll personally fly your fucking golf clubs or your golf shit, I guess the bag and everything, you could send your balls to. They'll fly all your shit ahead to make sure that your shit doesn't get lost in the fucking luggage, that you don't have an issue with it. And it's like $30-$40 or something like that. I forgot how much it is, but I think it was like $30-$40. They said the price on the, I think on the radio or on the ESPN. I forgot where I heard it. But my thing is like, wow, is there really that much business in that fucking industry? That people who love, I think they pick your shit up or something like that, and they drop it. I don't know the whole ins and outs. I don't fucking have a golf club. I go to putt. But my thing is that being innovative, creative, and targeting people who have money to spend. And there are people who have money to spend, becoming familiar with those industries and fucking making money. Like, other side of town, off of fucking 225, right? Off of 225 over there, like in Pasadena. You have lines and lines, but you got a lot of fucking plants and all that other shit. 146, 225, all that over on the other side. Some of y'all don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But if you're in the Houston area, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You got plants all up and down that area. Fucking Pasadena, Deer Park, Baytown, LaPorte, fucking Texas City, all around there. You got plants all in those areas. You got some shit down in Alvin. All of that stuff, right? You have companies in these areas that don't sell necessarily plant shit. All they sell is the knickknacks, the tools, and the little shit that these plants need. And they're $1 million, damn near $1 billion companies. They sell the little supplemental bullshit. Integrity weed. The supplemental bullshit that they fucking need. And they're making a shit ton of money off those businesses. But people don't think like that. You know what I mean? So, again, it's always about, people want to do flashy businesses. People want to do, you know, I want to do a business where I get off and I make a big name for myself. Sometimes it's about sitting back and looking like nothing. You know what I'm saying? And doing the job that you think is some hoe shit, but those people are killing, those people are eating. But, like I say, I've been talking for long enough. Give me a second. Let me get everything tooted and booted. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started right. Let's get this party started quickly. This is how we're going to start this. Give me a second. Give me just a second while I get everything in proper order. I see, let me do all this extra shit. Like I said, I think the text messages are working. Now, I think it's just SMS message. I don't think it lets you do the MMS messages. So let me pull this shit up. I don't know why I'd fucking have to log in like 13 times just to get the shit to act right. Alright. I think we are we kosher? I think we kosher. We put the number up, man. Again, if you want to support the channel, you go to Digimans.com. You can go to Den Show Shop if you want to get some Den Show merch. I want to say shout out to Denline K. I know he grabbed a shirt the other day, so I appreciate you for that. You know, rocking that fly ass Den shit. Where we at? Denline, wow, right there. Make sure you're following the Den on all the proper social medias. That is Den Show Live on Instagram and Twitter, and you can follow at Den Show Live on Facebook. Make sure you like the page. Make sure you're part of the Facebook group. There's a lot of tomfoolery and nonsense going on in the Facebook group, but I love it. Yeah. Yeah, the fucking commentators. Look, that's why I was watching the game, right? And I noticed these fucking commentators. And again, I've been watching pretty much the entire series. I've been watching actually since the Rays series. I just ain't been saying too much about it because I'm not, like I said, not a big baseball guy. I'm just trying to learn some stuff as I'm watching. And I mean, the fucking commentators, I noticed it a little bit in the Rays because they were just like, once especially when the Rays started kind of coming back, those two games, they were just, I don't know, just fucking hang with them. But this Yankee series, like I say, it's just like, good grief. We're talking about catering to millionaires. How much are these guys paying you to fucking wash their fucking balls? Like, get off their fucking dick. It's fucking ridiculous. But it is what it is. So, you know. Dan Strong said what he says. I'm fine with billionaires until they send jobs overseas and interfere with elections, use social media manipulation of the viewpoints. No, that I can understand. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. A couple of names come to mind. Yeah, but that's the thing too. Exactly, it's a lot of people with money who were barely there. So the only thing that bothers me about billionaires is that there's so many people on earth that struggle to make it. But I guess it's not the billionaires' fault. No, I mean, here's my thing, man. Because I try to look at life like this, exactly. There's the thing that I look at, right? Because I look at it like, what if we didn't have this structure? What if we didn't have this system? What if we didn't have technology? What if we didn't have, you know, all of these things that make life convenient? The phones and the fucking internet and all this other shit. And it was really survival of the fittest. I look at the market, I look at money, I look at the economy like the same way. Survival of the fittest is the people who come up with the ideas to survive, to feed, and you gain power or whatever else it may be. And again, like I said, I don't like the manipulation. It's kind of part of the game, and when you're getting involved in the politics or whatever, I think that's kind of fucked up. But again, if people don't, you know, do research and learn for themselves, and they're susceptible to that manipulation. So is that kind of on the people who do the manipulating or the people who get manipulated? Like, you know what I mean? But like I said, I look at it like survival of the fittest. So if you were out there in the wild and you didn't have the skills or the understanding to hunt or know which berries were good and which ones were bad, or, you know, to survive in the winter or do any of these things, like, you know, whose fault is that? Now, of course, it's like, hey, yeah, you could be taught, and, you know, hopefully somebody teach you, well, if you come from the right tribe or you learn from the right people. But a lot of people don't want to do that, or a lot of people want to do the thing that looks cool or whatever else it may be, you know. So again, it's like I kind of look at things and compare it to that. Now, are we so far from that? Yes, absolutely. We're not cave people, but at the same time, you know, I'm just like, well, you know, what's the difference now? Like, why do we? I guess, you know, as you develop as a society, that's part of it that happens. But it is what it is. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
Hey, you know it's Belle.
Miss Belle.
Get mine in first.
Already. Shout out to Miss Belle. The bell has rung. Class is in session. What's on your mind, Miss Belle?
Okay, gotta address something first.
Right.
Somebody asked me to remind you to be on time for the den. However, you answer the reason why you were late on the day. And the comment is to remind you that it's a 10 o'clock Central Standard and it's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard. So I've made that bid for that person, and you've already explained why you were late. So
Blame Scotty. Scotty's fault. Scotty don't want me on time.
Yeah, but as we were discussing, being on time is being late because everything still has to be prepped. Being on the boards. Anyway, coming back to what you were saying about the billionaires, here's my thought process on that. It's necessary evil. And how do I say this? The United States doesn't actually own anything. Everything in America, from all government policies and whatever, they are leased. They are rented. There is nothing owned by the United States. So having several billionaires in reserve, if the American economy tanks, is not really a bad idea. It's like having a personal reserve. We're already trillions in debt, but it also helps with a credit ratio. Even though it's their money, they're still Americans, and ultimately it'll come back into the pot somehow. At least that's my general thought. I don't know how anybody else thinks about it. And the trickle-down effect doesn't trickle down like everybody would like to think it does. I'm not sure if you're old enough to remember, but it might have been 15 years ago, maybe even a little longer. Everybody got like $1,000 refund across the board. And because the economy was just really doing so bad that they wanted to, what they thought was inject a fluid amount of money and figure out where it was going to go. Well, some people spent it, some people spent it immediately, and other people just did a bit of both. But it didn't go like they expected. And so because of that, there's not a lot of trust that the American people can spend their money properly and how it trickles down. What in the heck are you doing? Because I know you're not on screen.
I'm drinking some sort of beverage that I can't let y'all see what I'm drinking.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess you don't want to give us a name brand.
No free
but
promo.
That being, nothing's for free anyway. But that being said, is that having that reservist of millionaires and billionaires, it's kind of like having sort of a non-bank bank, because there's still somebody there that will support the Americas if we really fuck up beyond recognition financially. So it's, again, necessary evil. And would you want to have all your money out to play in every different pocket and not have something in reserve? That's not economically healthy, smart. And I have said this more times than if I had a nickel for every time I said this, I would be a millionaire. That if the U.S. government put a budget just like the American households put a budget, there'd be a whole lot different spending sprees. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever worked for the government, but I have. And when you go after a budget for the fiscal year ahead, you ask for 3 times as much because you know you're only going to get a third of what you really want, just to get what you actually can have in your budget for the following year. You know, say you need $10,000 increase in your budget, you ask for 50. You might get 7, even though you still needed 10. And it's a bidding war as far as that goes. And so if the budget actually gets through, then somewhere it goes up. This is why taxes go up. This is why, you know, everything else goes up on the different lines, because when there's increase on levels, it's got to be paid for somewhere. You know, every school board raise, every teacher's salary, every program, whether it's art, whether it's math, whether it's science. You know, every time there's a new edition for a scholastic book, it costs the taxpayers because they've got to print new hardcover books. Some aren't even using books anymore because they use the laptops in the schools.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother ball of wax. But that's some of the trickle-down effect of round-robining the finances by having the billionaires in reserve. And let me tell you, because there's so few of them, they make worldwide decisions beyond what most of us would have to think of on a daily basis. When you're in that kind of, when you're at that kind of a table, it's an elitist, and it's not a black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Japanese, Korean thing. It's whoever's got the money is got the power, and that's really the bottom line of that.
Okay. So, you know, if you were a billionaire, or you might be, Miss Bell might be a billionaire. She might not be telling us, but what would you do differently, or should they do anything differently to change the perception that they have, or should they just be happy with all the money they have and not give a fuck about what anybody else thinks?
I think that's the perception, is that people general, like us general peons, we don't think that billionaires actually do give a shit. However, that's where the public relations the spin doctors and the public relations people come in, so that they look like they're doing good things, even though they may be doing so many good things, it's just not always public. Good example. I don't know if most people know this, but the Microsoft, what's his name?
Bill Gates?
Yeah, Gates and his wife, they donate megabucks, I mean probably $1 billion a year, into literacy programs across the United States. You know, they put theirs back into academia and back into education. You know, not necessarily paying college loans off, but they're trying, you know, when they decided they had children, they put it where their heart was, so they put it at the fundamental first levels of, what is it called? Like Head Start and those kind of programs, to be able to make sure those get funded in a lot of cities. So, but you don't see that every day. And there's a lot of billionaires that do put a lot towards charity, even though they write a check. And some are personally involved with it. I've never had that kind of money, so I can't tell you, but just from past experiences of seeing different articles and different newspaper things and stuff like that. And surprisingly enough, I'm not a huge Kennedy fan, specifically Ted Kennedy. However, when he was in office, he did a hell of a job for public service.
No.
His personal life might have been majorly screwed up, but he did a lot of policy for a lot of good for a lot of people. And I know that's way off topic, but it's something that doesn't kind of get talked about, because you've got people who have done bad things that turn around and really end up doing some really good stuff too.
I agree.
But and the other thing is how many of us can actually relate to a billionaire? Yeah, I can't. I mean, when they're on that financial level, it's a whole different ball of wax. It doesn't make them different people per se. It just makes their spending power in a different stratosphere.
Yeah.
And so that's the thing that can be intimidating to most of us. I can't speak for anybody else, but definitely for me, you know. Any other questions?
No, I don't think I have any additional questions at the moment.
And by the way, I was laughing at the comment that you said, "Never mind," to Shannon, and I know you know what I'm talking about.
I have no recollection of ever leaving such a comment. I've stricken that from the record.
Laughing at it because it was freaking funny. And if anybody wants to know, then that means they need to get back into the den and look at that online. And with that being said, hey, everybody have a good night, and can't wait to see what calls come in.
All right, Miss Bella, I appreciate you calling in and getting the party started.
All right, thanks.
Have a good evening. Shannon is a peculiar individual. Saw a couple of things. Yes, that was perfect timing. Couple of things. So I saw what a prepaid said that MJ gave away $7 million. And people say that's not it. The funny thing is that somebody can give away more money than some people will make in their entire lives, and people will still say that's not it. If that's not good enough, why aren't more people getting out there doing what they need to do to work harder so they can give away money? You know, again, I can never do this. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's fucking, $100, $100 million. Again, like we said, old buddy came and paid for what, 400 people's, graduations. I don't care if it's a tax write-off. I don't care. Did somebody benefit from it? Excuse me. That's what matters. I don't care if it's if you can get two people can benefit. If I can get his money away and still benefit from it, I have no problem with that. Like I said, old buddy gave away or paid for all of those people their college tuition. Do you think that they care that he's writing this shit off on their taxes, that they're not going to be paying this shit off for the next 25, 30, 40 years? You think they care about him getting a tax write? They don't give a shit because they benefited from it, right? So what people don't understand is those say get rich quick. There's a huge difference between being rich and being wealthy. For example, anyone can get rich, lottery winner, gamblers, etc. But wealthy is for the few who actually know how to stay at the top for decades. It all comes down to mindset, and some think now and others think in the future. I agree with that. 100%. There's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Excuse me. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening? I'm doing y'all a favor right now. Trust me, y'all. I just did y'all a huge favor. Trust me.
Still right.
Y'all
You
can
heard
hear
the
that.
woman.
I did.
You heard the woman.
I don't know what she said.
You heard the lady, and I laughed up. I broke it down. Broke it down entire, Jesus.
Ooh.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Don't blame Jesus. Don't blame Jesus for what y'all got going on in Atlanta. Jesus is so far from Atlanta right now.
What's wrong with him, Jesus?
That's what I think about the entire city of Atlanta. What is wrong with him, Jesus?
And guess what? The stadium still don't be full Sunday. I'm gonna have my ass in my seat. Yeah.
If there's nothing better to do, then hey, do what you gotta do.
Living life on a merry-go-round. Okay.
That is tough. You should get off the merry-go-round. I would advise. So Miss Meat.
So I'm not calling to talk about do we really need billionaires, because I ain't no fucking billionaire. So can we stop billionaires? No, we can't stop billionaires. We can't stop capitalism. It's not gonna happen.
Okay.
I'll talk about other things, Ed.
All right, Angela. What would you like to talk about, Angela?
I'm gonna talk about you, Ed.
Well, what about me, Angela?
How you pissed me off.
Okay. How did I piss you off, Angela?
It had nothing to do with sports or anything.
Okay.
It had to do with the last time I called in. Mm-hmm. Your next caller, Ed. Mm-hmm. You kept changing the subject. I tried to stick to the subject. You kept changing the subject. You kept wanting to talk about the Falcons because we played y'all. And then you had this next caller acting like I was stupid and didn't know the damn topic when you kept changing the subject.
I did no such. Angela,
Yes, you
you
did. Yes, you
kept
did.
bringing up
Because I was commenting.
about.
In the chat. I was commenting. I was like, that's not what the fuck I said. I kept on trying to talk about the topic. And you was like letting it carry on like I was the one changing the damn subject. But you was so hype and crunk on Houston playing Atlanta. What the fuck else? Y'all still ain't good. Y'all still ain't good. It's still 10 more games, by the way. Anyway, so you kept changing the subject, not me. So I wasn't all over the place. You were all over the place, Ed.
Okay. I'll take your word for that. I'll accept that.
No, you ain't gonna take my word. I'm gonna tell you. No, you're gonna go back to that conversation. You're gonna see what I'm talking about. Don't take my word for it, Ed.
Okay. I will go back and I will check it out. I will re-examine. What day was that? Was that the day immediately after the game?
Who knows?
Okay.
It
You know.
was before the game.
You know.
It was before the game.
It was before the game?
It was before the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It was right
Channel
before
I
it.
agree. Okay.
Yeah. I'll send you the combo, but that was my problem.
Okay.
Like you don't try to clown when that wasn't even the subject, when that's not even what happened.
Okay. Well,
I tried to stick to the subject. So now I'm not sticking to no damn subject.
Okay.
First of all, this subject here, I'm just saying, do we really need billionaires? Hell yeah, I need to be one. And hell yeah, I'll change like a motherfucker too. I won't be the same person. That's one thing I disagree, Miss Bell. Listen, your ass be a billionaire, your ass don't change. I don't give a fuck who you is. Your ass, your whole lifestyle gonna change. Your attitude gonna change. Everything about your ass gonna change. Hell, I'll probably even like Trump ass if I became a billionaire. So yeah, you'll change. Definitely. And you know what? What's your really, Honcho? What was your point? Like, do we really need
because there are a
billionaires?
lot of people out there who believe that we should not have billionaires, that are anti-capitalism. There's a wave of socialism / communism taking over this country, mainly by the younger generation, because they feel like certain people have too much money. They become, I don't want to say disenfranchised, but they believe that they don't have the ability to make it. They think all the money is finite, and because a certain group of people have money, they feel like they can't get money and it's unfair to them. And they've given up on life at a young age, or they've given up on the opportunities that are presented to them more so than ever at a young age. And so they are anti-capitalism. They want everybody to share the wealth. They feel like these people should be taxed more and they should be responsible for more. Why?
Okay, well, you know why, right?
Why is that?
Because they soft. Well, because they're soft. Like, if your parents don't show you the real, okay, first of all, so did Bill Gates steal the money? Am I missing something? So these billionaires, did they steal the money from somewhere, or did they earn the money?
But exactly, but that's what I'm saying.
Did the Amazon dude in his garage, did he steal the money, or did he earn the money?
He stole like $13.
I'm saying, did he earn the money?
Yes, he earned, but that's what I'm saying.
Like
you have a lot of people who feel like
form of haterism.
But that's the thing. But there's a lot of people, a lot of youth especially, and there's older people too. A lot of people who want this, who are on this wave of democratic socialism, feel like all these people who have money should have to cover them and what they do and all that other stuff, when the opportunities are there. Every day or so somebody's becoming a millionaire. And the funny thing about it, a lot of people who become millionaires, they're not in the public eye. There's a lot of sectors, private sector, if you will, and a lot of industries in which you, an individual with a little bit of crafty thinking and a little bit of ingenuity, can become well off. And that's the people. When you give up, you'll never see that opportunity because you're never going to exert the effort to do so. And so that's what happens is I think a lot of people have just given up. They see other people who are rich and they feel like they can't do it. But the thing is not really about the other people being rich. It's about what they feel about themselves inside. And I agree with you. They're soft.
Right.
That's the only thing I'll probably ever agree with you on.
Right. They. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all an example, and this is really like this here. So my daughter, right? Okay, so everybody knows I lost one daughter. So my other daughter, that was her sister. So like she having a hard time with it. So, like lately, like when anything go wrong, she be acting like she want to end it all. I had to like shake the shit out of her, like, girl, bye. Like, what is you talking about? Like, this is not even the worst we've been through. What you're going through, like so her car got repoed. So she thought that was the end of the world. I was like, girl, I've had 2 cars repoed. Back in the day, like, what did you? That's nothing to, like, they give up so easy. So I had to like snap her out of that shit. Like, this is nothing. This is nothing. Like, you just gotta keep moving. Like, you know, she already got a master's. She's in school again for a double master's. So it's not. She stayed with me. Like, what bills are you paying? Like, I'll make you pay for your phone bills. Come on. That's it.
But that's what I'm saying.
Like, you know, they do. They give up, and I'm, you know, I had to, and that's why I'm giving y'all example of my daughter, because like she went through that, like, recently, and I know it's because she wasn't like that, but I know it was because of what she's going through, missing her sister. But still, that's not like, you got to keep it moving, and they're soft now. They just give up like at the drop of a dime, because you know, if you go out there and you earn $1 billion. Honcho, just say, you look how long you've been working at this. So all of a sudden, snap, you get your break, and you become all over, and you just big, like you the next TMZ and this and that. I guarantee you, some people that you have, your fans now, will turn against you. I guarantee you. It is what it is. Like, if you earn your spot, then you earn your spot. And as far as capitalism, all that stuff is like, all that shit is like fake and psyop shit to me. All that stuff is just to break you down, so I just don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in any of that. And you can't take $1 billion. You just can't steal $1 billion from somebody. If you can, let me know how. I'm not going to hate on the next man for having $1 billion. I can just try to get mine. And, you know, the more we worry about that kind of stuff, that's why these young people, social media. So, you know, just say when we were teenagers and coming up, like when I first voted, as soon as I turned 18, it wasn't like social media to let you know. It was word of mouth. You didn't know about all that. But now it's just social media, and everything is so negative and against this, and this is bad and this is not bad. When you control your own life and your own destiny, point freaking blank. Point blank.
Yeah,
you control what happens in your world. Your house is your world. My house is my world. You control what happens in your world. You can't control that billionaire world. Just like everybody. See, that's the main reason why people don't like Trump. It's not because of the words that's coming out of his mouth. I can promise you that. It's because he gave the billionaires and the millionaires tax breaks that they've already been given before. This is nothing new. I don't understand why people think this is new. It's nothing new.
I agree.
This is the world we've been living in.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm going to go. I'm going to let somebody else call in. But now you know my problem, and I'm going to send you I'm going to send you the time stamp and everything, okay?
Send me the time. I'm still waiting on you to send me about you told me this was weeks ago about a study that happened at some university where they were violating small children. I've been waiting on that information. It's a couple other things.
I forgot.
I'm just waiting.
I did.
I'm just cool. I'm waiting. So.
Okay, I forgot. I did. And the university is still open, too.
Okay.
And you know what? Matter of fact, they just had a protest in front of that university. I will send it to you. I swear to God.
Okay.
I'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow.
All right. I'll be waiting on it. I appreciate you calling. We're just going to hang up on that. What's the motherfucking deal, man? We got calling into the den this evening.
What's good, Honcho? It's prepaid.
Prepaid, man. What's on your mind? Prepaid. Always good to hear from you, man. Well, how you feel about tonight's topic, man?
Jealousy and envy, bro. Jealousy and envy. We got millionaires running around telling us that we don't need billionaires, in the hope that we don't catch on as to why the fuck they became a millionaire. Think about the people who are constantly complaining. For those of y'all who are not, who don't look up stuff and don't know, you got Democratic candidates running on the platform that we don't need billionaires. Those people in Congress make $175,000 a year. They get all annual raises. They never miss. The people who vote for them to get their raise are the people in Congress. So who the fuck gonna vote against that, for them getting their own raise at their job? I would never vote not to get my raise at my job.
Exactly.
So of course they get their raise. Now, before I get into the meat and potatoes of this thing, I want to say rest in peace to Elijah Cummings. I was not very fond of him. However, he did great work. I don't really know. I'm going to say he did great work. Not that I agree with it, but that's the consensus of it. And, you know, I didn't want him to lose his life, so rest in peace, Elijah Cummings. However, Elijah Cummings was a person who always championed that we didn't need billionaires. Elijah Cummings has been in the Senate since 1996, correct?
Yes, I do believe.
So if you take 1996, that would be what? How many years is that? I ain't that good at math. What would that be? 10, 3. So you almost 20 years he's been there, okay? Mm-hmm. So if you take the 175, and let's cut it off at 100. Let's say 100. Let's say make 100. For 20 years, they put him at, how much is that, Honcho? 2 million?
Yeah, he's sitting on a pretty penny.
Think about that, y'all. And this is the person who's telling us that we shouldn't have billionaires. You got Bernie Sanders, a billionaire who has never held a job. I want to be very clear on this. Bernie Sanders has never held a job. Bernie Sanders has never had a 9-to-5. It's telling you we don't need billionaires. This is the problem when people yell about socialism, tell me they hate capitalism. First and foremost, they don't understand capitalism at all. They don't. Like, you can because I always feel this shit like, well, I mean, why does Jeff Bezos deserve billions of dollars? Why don't I have billions? I said because every time you get some money, you run on vacation. You work a 9-to-5. You work a job that don't even have health benefits, but you decide to go run off to Paris for 5 days and 6 nights. Y'all, people, you got millennials now they take vacations that I didn't take till I got into my career. Motherfuckers is going to Bali. What are you doing in Bali? What are you doing there? This is crazy to me. This is flat out crazy. You use all your PTO going on trips, elaborate trips, and then you come back to your job and you complain because your boss won't give you a raise? Here's the problem with all this. In this world we live in, especially in America, can't speak for any other country, but in America, you're going to get out what you put in. I've seen like probably 5 or 6 people say the trickle-down effect isn't real. And the reason why it isn't real to everybody, let me explain it to y'all. When we talk about the economy, we talk about things that Trump has done, we talk about unemployment rates being as low as they have been in the last 29 years. The reason why the trickle-down effect doesn't affect people who y'all think it should is because they lack the skill set to take advantage of these things. If you work at Burger King and the unemployment rates are going down, well, of course not. You're not going to feel it because you have the lowest skill set of any worker. Now, that's no knock on anybody who works at Burger King. I'm simply giving you an example. If you lack education, the formal education, you lack formal training, and you lack a skill set, nothing around you really matters anyway. If you work at Burger King, does it really matter if it's an all-time low for unemployment when your job is to make sure that you drop the nuggets and the fries?
You ain't gonna see too much.
Your skill set is focused on nuggets and fries. You're the person who restocks the condiments. Of course it's not going to affect you at all. Now, let me explain to you the reason. Let me give you anybody who doesn't have a good grasp of capitalism. Let me give you a prime example of how capitalism works. And this is the example I give to people all the time when they talk about and they complain about these billionaires and they go off on these tirades and shit. Income tax season is the greatest indication of capitalism I have ever seen in my life. Income tax season is the most glorious time of the year for probably 90% of Americans. For the first time all year, we finally get a chance to get back a percentage of what we've given as far as our taxes, okay? Now, if you like me and have children, you love it because you finally get the tax break, okay? If you don't have kids and you make a certain money less of the threshold, you get what's called an earned income credit, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, those who have acquired wealth do not make purchases with their income tax money. Let me say it again. Those who have acquired wealth do not make purchases with their income tax money. Instead, they make sure to use their income tax money on paying off things that they previously purchased. Honcho, Those who don't have wealth, what do they do with their income tax money?
Paper tag season. They go get a brand new paper tag on the off the lot at the what's the used car lot, and then it's gone a couple of months later.
Yes. You know, do you know the number one outside of cars, and Honcho's 100% correct, do you know the number two purchases during income tax season? Electronics is number two. Electronics is number two. Places like cons were literally built on the premise of income tax season. Errands, things, anything that had rent to own was all built on the premise of income tax season. If you have a TV already, why the fuck did you go and buy a 90-inch TV because you got your tax money? You are creating bills on money that you should be allocating to things you've already purchased. Now, I say that to say this. Honcho, what's the most important thing about when people get their taxes? What's the most important thing about it? When they get their taxes, what's the most important thing they tell you? They tell you, don't ask me how I spend my money.
Oh, yeah.
That's the most beautiful part about capitalism. They're not going to answer any questions about how they spent their money or how much money they got back. They will not tell you how much money they got back because that's the most beautiful part of capitalism. Yet, 2 months later, when they're broke, they're going to say, man, shit's all fucked up, man. This economy, man, we need it goes to be socialism, man. It's bullshit. I'm broke. I'm behind on my card note. I'm behind on this. I'm behind on it. And that's how they go about shit because that is the world that we live in. Let me tell you another funny thing about capitalism. People will complain. You got millionaires complaining about billionaires saying, we don't need billionaires. This person should be doing more, person should do more. Michael Jordan donated $7 million today. It was in the news. It was the funniest article I had ever read, Honcho. Over 1,000 people, I counted it, all said he only gave $7 million, that's it? He only gave $7 million, that's it? And I sit back and I scratch my head because I always laugh at this. If Michael Jordan's a billionaire and he gave $7 million, if you had $7,000, would you give 70 bucks to a poor person? If you had $7,000, would you give 70 bucks to a poor person?
Yeah, I thought we got it.
Majority of people, the answer is fuck no. Here's a better question. If the average person had $7,000 in cash on them, would they give a homeless person $7?
Depend on the character of the person, but I would like to think so.
Majority of the people, I'm telling you right now, Honcho, majority of people, the answer is no. It is a proven fact. Majority of people will not give a homeless person $7. So you will criticize Michael Jordan giving $7 million, but if you had 7,000, you wouldn't give $7?
Wow.
See, that's what it all boils down to, Honcho. It's not if we need billionaires and millionaires, because if you earn the money, you've earned the money. The problem is the premise of these people having such wealth, and we can't control how they spending the wealth. You let a person like Jamil Hill get on TV and say, well, if Jeff Bezos, because that's her go-to guy. Jeff Bezos, she hates Jeff Bezos' fucking guts, and I have no idea why. If Jeff Bezos would just donate $200 million to this, and she names the cause, we wouldn't have this problem. Well, Jamil, you have $4 million. When are you going to donate to that cause? Yeah, Jeff Bezos can give $200 million. You don't have $200 million. But if you gave $20,000, would it not make a big difference? Of course it would. But that's the key behind it all. The key is to tell other people how to spend their money that they've earned. Someone asked Jamil Hill to tell us her charitable contributions. Jamil Hill, tell us where you donate your money to. Oh, I ain't got to answer that question. Y'all don't know me like that. See, that's the beautiful thing of it all. That's the whole beautiful thing of it all.
Heidi Kleindienst donated $7.
There's nothing better to the people, to the Democratic Party right now, those who are running. There's nothing better than telling the motherfucker how to spend their money.
Yes.
There's nothing better. Bernie Sanders will go on tirade, he'll yell, let me tell you what, he do all that. He would do all that. He would tell you about how you need a livable wage and how you're broke and how you can't overcome this. And what did Bernie Sanders get sued for? His own campaign team wasn't making a livable wage. And when Bernie Sanders was forced to pay them $15 an hour, you know what happened? He cut their hours. Y'all heard about all that protesting going on at Target? It worked. It worked. They protested. They all got big raises. Everybody got their raise. Oh, they making $15, $16. Cut their fucking hours. Yeah, this is how this whole thing works. This is how this whole thing works. The most beautiful thing about capitalism is no matter what it is that you do, first and foremost, America doesn't put a cap on anything that you do. You can have as many businesses as you want. You can have as many hustles as you want. You can sell pussy if you want to in America.
Yes.
It's supply and demand. If it's good, you can get top dollar for it. If it's bad, then you might be doing the $40 hustle and flow type thing. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. America's a beautiful place. If you are an attractive woman, I have a job for you right now. When I say it, go off in your head. There's a place called a club. You can go be a bottle girl. You can go make thousands of dollars every weekend doing this job. Only thing you do is bring a fucking bottle with a sparkler.
Yeah.
Literally, these girls make thousands. I know a bottle girl who makes $100,000 a year in Houston. Cash.
This is terrible.
Dude, my son, and I'm going to say this and finish this up. My son has made about 30 to 40 grand this year alone, just off sneakers. Let me tell you what they do. Him and the kids that he goes to school with, they purchase sneakers. So basically, anytime I buy my son some shoes, he can't sell the shoes. I don't play that. You don't trade nothing. If I buy it for you, that's my gift to you. You know what I'm saying? Now, he has his own money that he saved, does his chores, whatever the case may be. My son started doing it when Yeezy switched over to Adidas. They go out and they'll purchase 4 or 5 pair of Yeezys. And he'll use his money saved up. Honcho, they flip these shoes for 4 and 5 times what they pay for these shoes.
That's crazy.
The money is so lucrative in the things they're doing with the sneakers. I had to give him his own private bank account and monitor it for him. He's made, I think, $37,000 this year alone. And this is not a big bankroll, Honcho. This is not a kid who has $20,000 and $30,000 to buy sneakers. This is a kid who started out with $400 or $500 and started buying sneakers and flipping them out. Oh, it's crazy. It is crazy.
That's wild.
I take them to the sneaker summits and all kind of shit, man. It is a huge market for these. And when you go to these sneaker summits, we went to one in D.C. There are kids his age there holding a booth. They pay $1,000 for a booth and they bring all their shoes there, and they're selling their own private sneakers there, $500 a pair. $1,000 a pair. Man, they had one kid sold a pair of Eminem Retro 4s. It was $20-some thousand. He had sold his personal shoes there for $20-some thousand. This is cash money, bro. This is cash. This is capitalism in its flesh. But if you're going to be a person who sit back and complain about it, only thing you're going to do is sit back and watch everybody else make all this money. You just keep looking around the whole time.
That's wild shit.
There are so many hustles, man. There's so many ways to get paid here, y'all. But what I will tell y'all is, man, without proper education, without proper, training and acquiring a skill set, none of this stuff will ever matter to you. You will never have a chance to go out here and enjoy none of the fruits of this labor because you lack the prerequisites to get into this money. Even the person who cuts grass for a living knows how to operate a lawnmower. So that's it for me, man. Honcho, you got any questions for me?
Man, you gotta let me know whenever the next sneaker summit. I might have to start peeping this sneaker game. I don't know. I need to start paying more attention, but I ain't got nothing else for you.
Man, it's a huge man. When I say it's a huge market, I'm talking about, man, like these kids. They got one kid's a little white boy. I forgot his name, but like my son shows me his Instagram and stuff. He's literally the sneaker plug for every celebrity. They go to this little white kid to get their shoes for him.
Wow.
Like Fat Joe calls this little white boy and is like, "Hey man, I need you to get such and such for me." Okay, send me $2,700. I had a shoe sent to your address. That's how the shit works. It is crazy.
Heidi donated $2 through
These are
Super
children,
Chat.
man. These ain't grown. These are kids. These are 13 and 14-year-old kids
$0.
who are creating businesses. Man, one of the kids created a sneaker app where basically you meet up with people and you switch the shoes off the app. Drop off, pick up, drop off, pick up. It is crazy, man. The money's there to be made if you have a skill set and a drive. If you're going to sit back and complain all day, ain't no money for you. So that's it, man. That's it for me. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a great night.
Man, appreciate it, prepaid. Let me figure out who can swap some cold Hans, man. What's the motherfucking deal? Who we got calling in to the den this evening, man?
It's your boy Chill here.
Chill, what's on your mind, Chill? How you feeling about tonight's topic, man?
Well, first of all, before I give my thoughts, I would like to update you that the Astros are now winning 9-3.
Okay.
They scored 2 more runs in the top of the 9th, and yeah, we're gonna win this series.
Okay.
But anyway, you know, I'm a young guy, right?
Yeah.
Turned 19 this November. And I kind of feel frustrated that my generation isn't most like I don't know how much of my generation supports socialism slash communism, because I mean the people that are saying that they're two different things, that is completely and utterly false, because Vladimir Lenin, the guy that started the communist revolution in Russia in the 1920s, said the goal of socialism is communism. And I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand why people don't see that capitalism is. I mean, it's always going to be a debate for years and years to come. But capitalism has pulled more people out of poverty than any other economic system in history, and that can be proven. Millions and millions of people have been getting out of poverty ever since capitalism was implemented, and the poverty rate in the United States is low because of capitalism. And the people that want socialism and communism is the kind of people that don't want to work. In my opinion, they don't have the will or the motivation to work, so they just want to sit around and be lazy and have billionaires give them their money to them so they don't have to work. I mean, I get there are certain people that are unable to work, like disabled, obviously, or like basically like disabled workers that, like, I get that you got to give them money. Of course, the government has to give them money so they can support themselves if they are unable to work. But the great thing about capitalism is that it's basically like you have a choice on what you want to buy and what you want to sell.
Yes.
I mean, of course, you can't sell hardcore drugs, you can't sell heroin or any of that kind of shit. But
I mean, you can, you probably shouldn't. There's going to be some consequences that come with that, but yeah. I mean, there's that. But yeah, but no, again, I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
But with socialism and communism, the government chooses what you should buy or how much money you should have and what you should be doing with your money.
Yes.
But the government, Thomas Paine, I mean, I don't know if you're a big history person, Honcho, but Thomas Paine said in his book, Common Sense, I think most of y'all probably heard of it, he said that government is a necessary evil. Because the thing about capitalism is that it allows human nature to take in place. And it's what I don't know if, well, Stephen A. Smith said this recently on a show. He said, it is about who wants it more. It's your hard work. It's who has the most hard work and dedication to be the person someone wants to be, like, and what communism stops that. And communism stops that because it don't matter if you work hard your whole life. You're still going to get paid the same amount as everyone else. You're going to get paid the same amount as someone that doesn't do all the work. While in capitalism, it's a fair, I mean, I can't really say it's fair, but yeah, let's just say it's more fair than communism, okay? It's more fair than communism and socialism, because if this one person works hard, they will have. It takes time. Like, people need to understand, it takes time. It's something that doesn't happen overnight. It's something that happens over time. And if you put a lot of hard work and dedication and patience into it, you will be successful in life. And that's what a lot of people need to understand.
Yes.
And you shouldn't. And if the government is going to supply you money, then people are going to lose that. The motivation is just going to be gone forever if that's going to be the case. I mean, it's still going to be there, but it's just mostly going to be gone. And then what's the human race going to turn into if that happens? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I agree. And I think that's an essential part of it, especially when you have the opportunity now and that people don't have the motivation, and then you kind of cut that off and say you do go to a socialist or communist. ideal. And then they know, well, this is the max. Then I think people are going to be even more stagnant. Well, if I work on, because think about it. I don't know if you've ever heard anybody say, anybody who's worked a minimum wage job, well, I get paid minimum wage, so I'm going to give minimum effort. So if a person knows that all they're going to get is so much for no matter how hard they work, naturally, most people are going to give a minimum ass effort. And so I think you're going to be worse off in these type of situations.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really unfair to say that billionaires are evil or unjust people, because we don't know what their personal life is about. You know what I mean? I think it's because of what is portrayed in the movies, that in most movies billionaires and rich people are seen as evil villain-like people. And I believe that gets into people's minds, like, oh, I guess that's how they really are if Hollywood's portraying them like that. When in all reality, it's really not. I mean, they just want to save their money for their own personal stuff. That's totally fine. Like, that's what the American dream is all about. Like, you becoming successful the way you want to be, and growing up and getting all that money and spending it on whatever you want. You don't have someone to tell you what to do with your money. And if I ever get rich, which I hope I do, because that's my goal in life, is to get wealthy enough to where I can, settle down and, do things that I want to do. And then once I have children and grandchildren, give them money to give them a head start in life in college, or help them pay off their car or something, and help them get a job. And because once a young person gets a job, and this is what happened to me, you realize what it really means, what hard work really means. And it will show you that if you work hard enough, you will get rewarded. But communism, socialism will get rid of that kind of sentiment to work hard in life. And it's kind of funny because Bernie Sanders is the most outspoken socialist out there, yet he owns 4 homes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So as far as I can see, and this is another thing that people don't know. Hitler was a socialist.
What?
The Nazi Party stands for the National Socialist Workers' Party. Dead serious. Hitler was a socialist.
That's tough.
And Benito Mussolini was also a socialist. Well, he used to be a socialist, but then turned to fascism. But it was kind of his idea. It was an idea of socialism through unification of nationality. And how many people have died because of communism/socialism? I'll wait. Time's up. Millions.
A couple of them clocking out right now. Yeah, that's tough. It's just a couple of them going through it right now as we speak. We probably lost about another 10, 15 more while we're having this conversation. That's unfortunate.
I mean, that part of it is that could be true, to be honest. That could be true. That's the sad part. That could be true.
That's true.
I mean, it's terrible. I mean, I hate calling a person. I mean, it's kind of wrong to call a person dumb for not believing what you believe, but I believe it would be okay to call a person dumb if they're not educated enough. Like, people are praising Shea Borieva, or whatever his last name is, but people don't realize that he was a homophobic and hated black people because he thought that they were lazy and useless. He was a socialist communist.
People love Che Guevara.
Yeah, Che Guevara.
I saw a shirt the other day from a very odd-looking individual walking his dog, and I thought that's nifty.
Wait, he was wearing a Che Guevara shirt?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So I mean, again, like I say,
yeah.
it's people. People say a lot about themselves by saying very little. Spoken words. Sometimes it's just the things they wear, the things that they do, and just by the way people look. Like I said, we're
Prepaid
talking
Mike
about not judging
donated
book by cover.
$25. The reason why we have never found the measure of wealth.
You gotta read
We
it
never sought it.
first
George
to know
Clayson,
what it's
the
really
richest
about.
man in Babylon.
And
Shout out, pretty funny.
not a lot of people do their research because they think communism is social. Well, communism is not used as much these days. Socialism is the main term these days that a lot of people use. They think it's all going to be sunshine and rainbows. Everyone is free, free, free. But as my dad once said, we're all going to be living in tents.
No.
Which, I don't know, could be true. Could be true. And, I mean, if you, again, look at the Cold War. Who won that? Who won it? The United States. You know why? Because they had they had a better economy that didn't kill a lot of people. While in the Soviet Union, they were putting people that they don't agree with in concentration camps and labor camps and intimidating political opponents. But guess what? In the United States, if it's capitalism, it's free, it's freedom. It don't matter what kind of opinions you hold, you won't ever get treated like what happened in the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
That's what I think people miss the point.
I agree. And like I say, it's I mean, there's a lot of things that you can point to around the world. That's why I say it's funny that because, and again, not a lot of your generation, a lot of the generation, maybe I would say slightly ahead of yours too. And there's people even in my generation who are buying into the bullshit. But, you know, there's so many examples around the world. And it's funny because you have all the technology to see it. You have all the visuals that are right in your face. But yet people, you know, they want to just, well, that's a different kind of socialism. We're talking about democratic socialism. The key word is socialism. And that's what they're avoiding. Again, it all ends up the same way. It starts out in a similar fashion, but it all ends up the same way. And nobody thrives that way. You know, when you start getting those, everybody gets those Obama phones and they're not iPhones. People are going to be real upset. whoever phone is, whatever government phone it is at that time. But again, you know, there's a lot of people I think they just think it's going to make life easier if we all share and share alike. But eventually, somebody's going to say, hey, well, I'm putting in more work than the others, or, you know, I deserve this. It doesn't make sense. I think human nature goes against the entire idea. I mean, because again, some people just have the juice and they want to work hard. They want to be the best. They want to be great. They want to be recognized for the things they do. Some people don't want to do shit, but they feel like they deserve just because they exist. And that's just, to me, a conflict of interest. Nobody wins. Well, somebody's going to win. It's not going to be people who think they're going to win or not going to win.
People should be looking up to millionaires and billionaires because I'm pretty sure most of them had to work hard a majority of their lifetime in order to get where they are. And it's just kind of fascinating. And I don't like the ones that are not self-made. They're like, it's hair, and they all like to flex on us. Like, my dad's a billionaire, and I have all these rich cars. I got these rich watches. I got these Jordans. I got these Nikes, and you don't. So fuck you too.
But the thing about those people, you know, let them flex because in reality, they lack so much substance within themselves. That's the only thing that they got. People who end up being born under these billionaires and millionaires, or who are the children of these people, they usually live in the shadow of their parents or whoever, you know, established that wealth in their family. And they feel so empty inside because they feel like they'll never measure up. They'll never be able to meet that standard. They can't do anything great because the money's already there, unless they just have a way of, you know, creating their own wealth and doing something different. But a lot of those people are so fucking empty inside. That's why they rely overwhelmingly on flossing material things, because it makes other people feel like they're missing out on something, when in reality, I mean, that's all they got. If it wasn't for the material aspect of it, they really wouldn't have shit. And they don't appreciate the things they have. It's just something to say. But like I say, a lot of those people are very, very empty inside. So it's very... I mean, like I say, it may be one thing. We may see it as one thing, or they're flossing and they're flexing, but in reality, that's just a coping mechanism for them.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I kind of just hope they grow up and realize that they need to realize how lucky they got it. I mean, obviously, I don't believe you shouldn't. You don't get to choose your family before you're born, obviously. So it's just. All I'm saying is you just feel grateful, you know, and don't like be a jackass to everybody else just because they're not you.
No.
And just know that, money is the night, but you can be if you do the wrong things with it. But you can make it last longer if you do the right things, like investing in the right stuff, or saving, or keeping track of your purchases. Like, what? What's fun?
Oh no, I'm just laughing because I was just reading some of the comments. But yeah, I agree though. I mean, it's I was talking about the Obama phone lady. She ended up turning on Obama. Like by the second term, she was anti-Obama.
But yeah, and let's see. I really got nothing else. Just except the fact is to give you a quick update. The Astros have won 8-3. I didn't mean to say 9. I meant to say 8, and they have a 3 games to 1 game lead over the Yankees. So let's hope we win Game 5 tomorrow.
They're gonna win. Them Yankees was talking so much fucking shit. The fans throwing shit is ready. They wilded out. They came to Houston. They was talking all kind of trash. You know, it's all good. Like I said,
you read my mind. They're trying to say that we cheated in a game where we lost 7-0. How the hell is that work?
Yeah, and that's funny because the MLB did the investigation. They said they didn't find anything, and so, like I said, it's just excuses that sometimes you point fingers at people to get people's eyes looking in a particular direction when you're the one actually doing the nonsense. So, like I said, I have no sympathy for the Yankees whatsoever. So it is what it is. We finish them off tomorrow.
And Josh Reddick, thing about him saying people were throwing bottles and baseballs onto the field was actually confirmed that people were actually throwing bottles, baseballs, and all sorts of objects onto the field trying to hit the Astros players.
Yeah, that's terrible. If your team can't beat them, what I mean, why you need to help out? You should be the Yankees.
And I can't say no Astros fans did it, because I remember I told you I went to ALCS Game 1.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost, but I had a good time no matter what. I mean, I nearly lost my voice, and you said it was going to happen, and it nearly did. And a home run, I think it was Gleyber Torres that hit a home run towards where I was sitting. I was sitting in the Crawford boxes, and a home run was about a few seats away from where I was. And that guy chunked the son of a bitch, chunked it. And as I believe it was Gleyber, I might be wrong.
Yeah.
But as Gleyber rounded second, the guy threw the ball in and it nearly hit him.
Oh, man, that would have been a beautiful thing.
And the security guard was looking down my row, and he was saying, "Do you know who that was?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I didn't see anything."
I ain't seen nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a bet.
I ain't no snitch. All right, I ain't no snitch.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, look, now don't snitch on your team. Now, if people out there doing nonsense, tell them they motherfucking ass. Fuck them. But that's a bet.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on making a video about the Yankees cheating accusations being just excuses to really how bad they actually are. So, I mean, the Detroit Tigers, they have the best record in the MLB, but guess how many times the Yankees lost to them?
How many is that?
Twice in a row. In a row. When they had 110 losses, they lost to them twice in a row at a time where they were supposed to get first place, apparently, in the American League, and that didn't work out.
Yeah, that's tough. Oh, yeah, I remember that coming down. I remember they talking about that. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I say, it's just, people are going to keep riding with them. I'm just going to enjoy this Astros run as long as it lasts. And hopefully, like I said, they clean everything up tomorrow.
The bandwagons from New York are going to come to Houston. That's all I got to say.
No, I wouldn't be surprised. Everybody's moving to fucking Texas, so I wouldn't be surprised at all, man.
Well, all right, Honcho, I'm going to let some other people get the calls in. And one more thing, y'all be sure to subscribe to The Den and subscribe to Saw Sports and Saw Sports TV if you want the best content in Houston.
Absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Chill, man. I appreciate that.
No problem. You know, I'm always try to say that at the end of every call on The Den and Sauce. So, gotta let the people know.
Already. Shout out to Chill Sports, man. Like I said, I appreciate you calling in, man. And it's good to know that everybody in your generation ain't sold all the way out, man.
Oh, come on. I went to college.
Good deal. Good deal.
All right.
All right, man.
You have a good night. You have a good night, Honcho.
All right, you too, man.
Bye.
All right. Got some calls coming in, but I got to pause for a quick Honcho hiatus. So whoever I got on hold, look, I ain't going to do you too bad. Give me just a second, and I'm going to flip the script, and I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Let's get it. Put the audio back on that help. All right, whoever called I just missed, feel free to call back. Oh, why don't show up right here? But it is what it is. We have returned. Pay me no mind as I do here. But yeah, yeah, the Obama phone lady, real live. She traded on me. I seen some thing, and I was like, wow, I did not think that was. Oh, what happened? Call back. Let's see where we are. All right, well, I'm calling back. I guess I missed it. I guess it ain't pick up or whatever and whatnots. Hello. Is this Mrs. Ashley?
Yes.
Yes. How are you doing this evening, Miss Ashley? What is on your mind this evening when it comes to, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to millionaires, billionaires, capitalism in America. What are your thoughts?
I think it's great that you're able to become a billionaire, or that that's a possibility.
Well, why do you think there's so many people who are against it?
I don't know. I mean, maybe because they aren't one, but I don't know what they're expecting from people that actually have millions and billions. Like, I mean, like the people who are like, oh, we should all share it, or we should just give it to the poor, or whatever. I don't think they should do that. I think they should have higher taxes and stuff like that, but I don't think they should just have to give it away.
So when you say higher taxes, do you mean like a total percentage or just a specific amount?
No, it wouldn't be able to. I mean, I don't think a specific amount would. I don't think that would be fair. It would probably be based on percentage, or that's what I would think would be fair.
So, what you have is you have a lot of these candidates who are talking about once you make so much a year that if you make more than 10 million, you should start getting taxed at 70%. Are you a supporter of that idea?
No.
Okay.
Because, I mean, what's the incentive to work harder? You know, do new things, create new technology if you have to give 70% of it away? That's ridiculous.
Okay. I agree.
I just don't think that would be fair.
Okay. That's how all the Astros fans are feeling right now. But so my thing is just this, right? I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you kind of pay attention to social media or the trending ideas, because again, like even Bernie last election was a heavy favorite. So that means that there are millions of people out there who support this idea. And I think as certain generations get a little bit older and certain things go a certain way, people feel like they're losing out, that I think this is becoming a more and more popular idea amongst everyday people. Do you see someone pushing the socialism narrative? Do you see somebody like that probably being the leader of the country anytime soon?
No.
Okay. Why not?
I mean, they could, but I don't think any of the billionaires would allow it. Like, I just don't think giving 70% is fair at all. That's really high.
Okay. And I would agree with that.
And it's like, how would you break it up? It's like, I have employees. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I think if you have employees like a Microsoft or, the guy who owns Amazon, like they have, thousands of employees. Why should they have to give 70% of their wealth away? That's crazy.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. And like you said, it kind of kills the incentive. It makes people less inspired. And again, like I think a lot of people don't account for the money that it goes into researching, engineering, as far as people who get, even starting new ideas, doing research and all this stuff that, that costs money. It's not just about putting out a product, I guess this is going to work and everybody's going to buy it. All the people who benefit, everybody and their mom fucking has used Windows, or everybody who has a fucking iPhone or whatever else it may be, millions and millions of people. And people don't, account for, hey, everybody who's buying this is putting a little bit of money into someone else's pocket. But then when you sit back and realize you're upset that this person has all this money, but yet they've enabled you to have all these things that you want. And it's crazy because I was listening to something. The guy was making a point about spending money, and what he said was, I used to be mad about, spending $57 on a steak meal, or lobster and steak or something like that, and or I'd be mad about spending $20 on a 3D movie ticket. But once I sat and thought about it, the movie takes $200 million to make, and all I have to do is pay $19 to enjoy the movie. I don't have to wait for it to be made. I don't have to put anything together. All I have to do is pay $19. I get to sit down and enjoy the movie for $19. And so I think when you look at it like that, when you kind of break things down like that, I think it offers a different perspective. But I don't think most people look at it like that. They just see the end game and, prepaid, bro. And they don't appreciate what goes into these things being accessible. Again, I think people are operating from an area of emotion more so than thinking logically about the situation. What they're thinking about is what they don't have, and that they feel like if these people are able to split it all up, that they should get a chunk of it.
It's like, why? And even like with movies, it's like you didn't pay for the costumes, you didn't pay for the actors, you didn't pay for the makeup artists, you didn't pay for the special effects, you didn't pay for the people that went to school to even, that are able to even edit movies and do things like this. You didn't do any of that. Exactly. You're enjoying one thing that someone else was able to put together.
You don't have to waste any time or effort. Just pay a little bit of money and enjoy.
Take your fat American ass to the movie theater. No. But yeah.
That's funny. But my thing is this, like I said, so even with that, and what I don't get is about these people who want to say the government should take 70%. Do you really trust the government with more of your money? I mean, people complain about what the government does with your money now. So now you want to give the government more money to fuck off and allocate. How does that make sense?
I mean, I guess it doesn't, but it's like maybe they can put more money into education.
Well, you and I both know they're not going to do that.
They probably aren't, but, it sounds good.
Okay. And I agree. And like I said, I just don't understand. I think a lot of people have conflicting ideas, but I think, like I said earlier, most people operate from an emotional place as far as, logical. So you are a business owner yourself, right?
Of sorts.
Of sorts?
Yeah.
You're an independent contractor. You're working at the strip club?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, I think that's essential. So whether you being an independent contractor, that kind of gives you the ability to, I won't say necessarily maybe dictate your own income, but would you say the harder you work, the more you have the ability to earn?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second. Let me bring myself back here. Okay. So what do you think it is that motivates people to believe in this idea of everybody should get the same slice, even though a lot of these people who feel that way, they don't work as hard as other people?
As what, a billionaire or a millionaire?
Yeah, they don't work as hard as the motherfucker in the fucking the cubicle next to them. You know what I'm saying? But they're complaining about.
Why would you feel entitled to someone else's money?
And that's what I wonder. I mean, because there's a lot of people like
and
that.
I think if I had $1 billion or like millions of dollars, or they want to tax me at 70%, oh no, I would probably, I'd fight you over that. Million. No.
But I agree. I think people would up and take their money elsewhere. They would go where they can maximize their profits. They can maximize their benefits. That they worked this hard. And I don't care, honestly, I don't care if it's the parents that worked that hard. I don't care if it's somebody down the line. I don't care if it was inherited. If it's your money, it's your money, and nobody should be able to tell you how to spend it. No one should be able to tell you how to use it. But yet, you have a lot of people who feel like they should have their input on other people's money and finances. But kind of like Prepaid mentioned earlier, when you ask, well, what about this situation you were in, or you had this situation going from you, lost it all, or you blew it, then it's none of your business. But these same people tend to have, plenty to say about people who have maybe significantly more income.
Mm-hmm. Well, even with the homeless, how everyone acts like you have to. I think people should help the homeless, but some person in the chat was saying that people being homeless is the government's fault, and I just don't. Yeah, that's what somebody had wrote in the chat, and I was like, I don't see how that's the government's fault. Or people living under bridges. That's what they had said. Okay. And it's not always that.
Some people say they deliberately have chosen to be homeless because they have less responsibilities, that they don't have as much to worry about.
Yeah, a lot of them do like being homeless, and they beg on the streets, and they make a lot of money, and they spend it on drugs. A lot of them, no, they do. They spend it on drugs and alcohol. They make a lot of money. I had watched a documentary, and they were following homeless people, and this homeless person made $200 in an hour.
Oh man,
which is ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you think about it, right? They make a significant amount of money, depending on And I'm telling you, there's little homeless corporations out there. People don't. You think I'm joking? They work in tandem. They work as a group. I mean, they switch places. They lock down a prime piece of real estate, and then
Oh, they definitely do. I've noticed that. Yeah.
or they work as like a little group. You know, and they keep it held
Hmm.
down. But if you think about it, how many times would you say a light changes in an hour, like a traffic light?
I don't know.
Mm.
I've never been at a light for an hour.
Well, I'm just saying
I
how.
mean, I guess it changes every 45 seconds, or maybe. I don't know. I mean, I've really never timed it. This is not question. I don't know.
Let's just say. So okay, Sweetberry says 40 times in an hour. All right, cool. So let's say they average $5. Because it depends on if it's a high traffic area, certain places where you'll see people sticking their hands out the window, 4 or 5 cars deep. Especially like I think that's the prime. And of course, every area is not like that. But some people are going to give them $1, at least $1. Most people are going to at least give them $1. And then some people are going to give them $5, $10. I'm sure they get some nice, little love here and there. I'm sure they hit I'm sure they do better sometimes than others. But let's say 40 times an hour. Say you're averaging about $5, a stop. And I think it might be more, maybe less. But that's right at, like you said, $200 an hour. Even if you're doing half of that, $100 an hour. And, you take that and you sit out there for, 3 or 4 hours. You fucking have made what? $400, $600, somewhere along that. And you do that 7 fucking days a week. You might be all right. Because there's people, I swear there's homeless people I've seen in particular side areas of town that I may not even frequent that often. You go there, and then you go there a week later, it's the same person there in the same spot, and they're still collecting money. It's just like, what the fuck is really going on? Like, I don't get it. It's a lifestyle. And I think I've seen some of the videos that you've talked about. It was one in Miami. The dude, they followed him home. He went home to like a big ass fucking 2-story house. It was all fucking nice and shit. There was a chick, I remember.
Right. These are just some people aren't even homeless. But for the people who are like living under in parks and under bridges, I don't think they should be able to utilize public property without paying taxes. I mean, I guess it's for everybody, but it's like, I don't think they should be so. But I just don't think they should be able to live like in these public places, and they don't even pay taxes. Like, yes, people should help them, but I think that's pretty entitled.
Yeah, again, it's your choice, and again, you can't worry about what they do if you do help. But who was the one? There was the one in.
Yeah, you can't. But I'm talking about people saying like, oh, you should give like, oh, you need to build places for homeless people who want to be homeless. Like, this is crazy.
No, you shouldn't do that. But I think that I would probably be fucking like I can't lie. Like, if I was super rich, I'd probably do something like for people who are going, because there's a lot of people too who are out there just going through some shit. And if you're willing to work and contribute.
Yeah, I think there's people who want help and they actually seek help. I'm talking about people who want to be homeless.
Oh yeah. Well, forget them. That's what I mean. If you're choosing it, it is what it is. But what happens with a lot of these shelters, though, which is super crazy, and I guess it wouldn't. I don't know. I guess it wouldn't work because eventually, they get filled up. But a lot of these places that they talk about people going to these shelters and things that you're just there for the night, and then it's kind of a first come first serve thing. And so I think that's always a peculiar situation. But like you said, though, but again, there's a lot of people who are living lavishly. It's crazy that they're living lavishly, impersonating being homeless. I don't know if y'all ever saw the one. I think it was on the one on 60 Minutes. I think somebody was just talking about it. Where the chick, she would transform into an old lady, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like she was.
I've seen that one.
Yeah, she was a young chick.
But these aren't even homeless. Those aren't homeless people. Those are like scam artists.
But that's what I'm saying. But she played the game. She turned into like she would hop in this little van. She'd like catch the bus or the subway, whatever. Had this little van parked up somewhere. She'd hop in the fucking van as a fucking young 20-something-year-old chick. And then she'd hop out. She's like a fucking 60-year-old woman. She's out there begging in front of like Saks and shit and making a killing. Then she goes back, hops in her van, does a little transformation thing, and fucking turns into, a young socialite. She's
People
fucking
are so crazy.
yeah, going out all the time. I mean, it's fucked up that people will take advantage of kindness in that manner, but it is what it is.
Right, like that's disgusting.
Yeah, she's from Saudi Arabia. Oh, that says everything you need to know, huh? Stop. Okay. Well, I mean, do you have any other thoughts or any other feelings on capitalism? Do you think there's ways that it could be improved? Do you think it's fine the way it is? I mean, what would you, or do you have any thoughts on that?
Like how so?
I'm just saying, do you think that there's anything wrong with capitalism as it is? Like, is it unfair to people, do you think?
Unfair to people for what?
I mean, do you think that people are born into unfair advantages, or some people have unfair advantages when it comes to capitalism, or people who don't start off, who may start off more impoverished, are they at a disadvantage? Or is it their own personal choice?
Well, yes, they're at a disadvantage because they don't start off with the same amount, but sometimes you can get a billion, or sometimes it can happen for some people if you work hard enough, or if you're lucky and have the right connections. But I mean, I don't know. How are you going to stop people from being born with money?
Exactly.
And you can't stop people from being born how they are. That's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
But like money, yeah, that definitely changes things.
Scotty, leave me alone. You ain't been here the whole time. To go out, you gonna come running the fucking room and shit because you want some fucking food. You greedy fat dog. Okay. I don't know. Anything else that you would like to add to that, Miss Ashley?
Just that it's very un-American for anybody to want to take 70% of what you worked hard to get. That's crazy.
Well, some people who hate America, who live in America, have benefited off all of the privileges of being an American, who hate America, which I find that very strange.
Nobody hates America.
Shit, there's the same people that we're talking about that want to do all this taxation, that are into that. These people hate America. They complain about everything in America, yet benefit off all of the privileges of being here. There are a lot of people that
they just want votes. They know that's not going to happen.
But I mean, what about regular people? There are people who are outside.
You said what?
But there's a lot of regular people who hate America. I mean, there's a lot of people who I think people who are converting to this socialist idea, the regular people, not even the people who are up for office, they hate America because they feel like they've gotten the short end of the stick.
Yeah, but how would taxing billionaires, how would that help them?
Because they think that whoever they vote for, or whatever these people promise them, is going to benefit them because they're going to get a cut of the pie. If we split it all up and make everybody pay, and we make everybody pay, then then we're going to get a cut. We're all going to split up. We're all going to share it. We're all going to share in this piece of the pie, and I'm going to get a share of that. That's what they believe. They believe that you cut off.
Do they think that they're going to get a kickback, like money?
Yeah, I think they think they're going to get that.
Welfare.
they're signing up for the Yang Gang. They want the $1,000, or they feel like or they're going to get some free education or free health care, which they're not going to use the free education because, again, like I said, there's no risk for them to benefit off of. So what I'm saying is that I didn't pay for it, so it doesn't matter. If it feels uncomfortable, if they're not learning what they want to learn or getting the education that they feel like they want, then they're just going to drop out, and nobody's going to really benefit off that, in my opinion. I think the fact that is college a bit expensive? Probably, but the thing about that is that makes you, well, you would hope that it would make you make better decisions in what you're trying to do with your future, knowing that it's a cost, it's a risk that you're taking. But you get a lot of people who go get these fucking these old whoop-de-whoop degrees that don't mean anything and they can't benefit off it. And they get mad at the colleges or they get mad at the whatchamacallit. Like, I don't know if you saw that video of the chick talking about she wanted to sell her degree back because she's not using it or she can't benefit off of it or whatever like that. Sally Mae should buy her degree back or some shit like that.
Oh my God.
You know, it's like, she's like, well, my friends, you know, they all have jobs, but I can't find a job in the field. So it's probably telling me, she didn't say what her degree was in, but it's probably because you got a weird ass degree that, you know, there's no field for. And, and now you're mad at the decisions you made, you know, and expecting that somebody else should have to make up for the decisions that you made. And I think that's part of the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to give us any kickback.
No.
They tax people 70%.
No, it's only going to go to more government cronies getting more money. We're not going to be, the people down at the bottom are not going to see anything. It's the people who are African lesbian studies. It's the people who are in government. Yeah, you're gonna have to get. Oh, it's just gonna go all to LGBT reparations. That's who's getting all the money. You know. So.
I can't believe they're getting reparations.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? That's the crazy shit. But that's the thing. You probably got an art degree. You probably know all this art, and you could paint. But now she has to actually sell her own stuff. No, she don't want to do that. She don't want to have to actually. No, we're just talking. Somebody said that she got a art degree. I'm gonna say, well, shit. Yeah, if you got an art degree, you know all this about art, and you have to paint or some shit and sell your shit. Now you don't want to do that because it's work. But people are crazy. I don't know. People are just crazy. Like I say, you know, they expect you to fix the mistakes that they made, and it's your fault if you don't. That's the world we're in right now. Crazy world, clown world.
What's that? If I had that much money, there would be nobody taking 70% of it.
Mm.
Like, as much as the Amazon guy, that is billions and billions of dollars.
Mm. Yeah, that's a whole lot of money, and that's what I'm saying. Is you're just going to give that to the government for whatever reason and hope that they're going to use it in the right way. That's what's going on there.
Yeah, right. I would. Oh my gosh, no.
Mm.
Fuck that.
Okay. All right. Well, that's about Miss Ashley. I'm finna get ready to wind it up here, and I appreciate talking to you. And we know that nobody will take 70% of your your income, but I appreciate you sharing your thoughts with us.
70% of my imaginary billion.
Yeah, I mean it's coming. Hey, you gotta use the law of attraction, and it's all gonna come. Your millions. You know, once you go over 10 million, though, it's a wrap.
Oh my god. Oh my, no, not 70%.
No,
Fuck that.
They're gonna come and take it. You have to put that shit overseas somewhere.
I know. Why wouldn't they think that people would just hide it?
I don't know. I have no idea. You would think that would be the case.
You think I'm gonna be the creator of fucking iPhone? Like, and I give you 70% of what I worked hard for? No. That's crazy. But anyways, that's all I got.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, ma'am, and hopefully I'll be talking to you soon.
Okay, bye.
All right, you have a good evening. Who do we have here? We have someone on hold. Who is this?
You know who this is, and don't be answering my call like that. You answer my call nice and
Who is this? Who this is? Hello, Miss Rashida. What's on your mind, Miss Rashida? How do you feel about capitalism?
I don't know shit about no capitalism. That ain't why I called.
Oh, why did you call then? What is on your mind this evening?
I just need my pistachios. I ain't trying to keep y'all in the den no longer.
You come for pistachios. At least you 100, and you know I'm a double you up since she was honest about it.
Hey, Miss Grace, how you doing? Hey, Prepaid. Hey, Sweet Bill, y'all.
That's funny.
I got a few thoughts.
Okay, what's on your mind? What you got there?
Well, when it comes to rich people, I think that You have those that are self-made. You have those that inherited money. Now, self-made, they started from the bottom. Now they here. Hey, no, but I mean, that's great. You know what I'm saying? Like you overcame the obstacles and you became rich and wealthy. Good for you. I mean, but sometimes I feel like we try to make people feel guilty for making it and being rich
Yeah.
because we don't want to shine that light on ourselves and see why they came from the same place we did and didn't make it. Oh.
So, have you known anyone who has started off maybe not as well off and ended up well off? And how did you
But
see them change?
There's actually a basketball player. They weren't really like my friend, but I definitely know him, So.
Okay. So did you notice a change in them once they became better off?
Nope. Still the same. Still come visit everybody. Still, with their family. They was family oriented still. Took care of their family.
Okay.
But that's on the outside looking in. I don't know like the internals of their family dynamic, but I still saw them in the area. Still saw them, come with their family and see about their family, and they moved their family out, got the family a house, cars. They like I said, they took care of their family.
Okay.
But prior to them making it, they were close to their family. So I think sometimes that kind of plays a part into how a person act when they get money.
So I have a question. Someone said to ask you about Pastor Wilson. I have no idea what that means.
Oh yeah, I saw the tape.
Who is Pastor Wilson?
He's a pastor that has a pornographic video where he
MR's Meat 37 donated $5. Haters will hate. Fuck the Rockets, fuck the Texans, fuck the Longhorns, fuck the Red Raiders. Boomer sooner rise up, let's go Hawks. Chop chop Braves.
Well, I'm waiting to say because appreciate the love, Miss Meat. Miss Meat donated, and then her comments were very rude and disrespectful. Even though I appreciate the donation, it was extremely rude and disrespectful. So could you please repeat that, because you couldn't hear the robot was talking over you, because Miss Meat tried to oppress you and silence you while you were giving such a wonderful comment.
I was saying that Pastor Wilson is he has a pornographic clip of where he's eating some offerings by a fellow church member.
Oh.
He's licking it, flipping it, rubbing it down.
Oh no!
Well, I mean, you asked me.
But
y'all need to stop asking me stuff, because I know, and if I know, I'm gonna tell you what I saw.
But all I'm trying to figure out is who is where's this Pastor Wilson from? So like, what is he like a famous pastor or something like that?
I could send you the video.
No, I don't want to see the video.
Oh. I don't know all the details of where he's from, because I didn't know.
Brandon donated $1. EY what channel the Braves on?
Facebook in the video.
Ooh,
why y'all didn't ask nobody else who he was? Why y'all just don't see my notes?
Because a particular individual, I won't say who, said to ask Rashid about Pastor Wilson. So that's in the chat. I don't know nothing about him. I've never heard of such a thing.
I would give him a 10 out of 10 on what I saw.
Well, so
that wasn't his first go round at the bottom.
Are you joining the congregation now? Is that what's going on?
Hey, if I couldn't pay my tithes, I would give him that offering. Maybe that's what happened to her. I think maybe she didn't have her tithes of money.
That's tough. That's real tough right there. That don't equate mathematically to me.
On the spot? I got to talk about this. I didn't want to talk about this.
I had
right.
I had no idea that this was even a thing. I had no idea who. Say the lady he was blessing the video named Corinthia. Oh, stop.
I'm gonna put the video. I'm gonna put a link to the video in the chat.
Y'all go do that. You know, I don't know nothing about all that.
You really wouldn't get monetized then.
They're gonna be shutting it down. This is our porno den. Is this what this is? Get out of here.
But it was only a minute clip though. It really wasn't.
I mean,
that's not nasty. That's something that people do. It's not nasty. It's something that people do in the privacy of their bedroom. I don't see what was nasty about it.
Were they in the bedroom or were they in the church house?
That I couldn't tell because it was just a clip of her, you know.
Okay, I don't even know no more. Say less.
Okay. So back to capitalism. I don't know why y'all gonna do me like that, detour me.
Scotty, man, look, I'm trying to donate pistachios here. You intercepting the play, man. This ain't here to pet you. You ain't even want to come in here until you saw I had some food earlier. You just ignore me and avoid me and doing other stuff. Okay.
He was a man twisting on the nipples, Miss Grace. Oh, Lord, have mercy. These pastors are freaky out here.
I don't even know what's going on. I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't condone this behavior. Your pastor videos and situations. I just don't know. I don't know. It's a very unfortunate situation. I guess, but like I said,
now they got another video. They have another video out with some dudes in a barbershop. That one right there. I wish I had watched that one.
Don't even say no more about that, because if it has anything to do with what Shannon put into whatchamacallit, I don't even want to talk about that shit. Because Shannon put up a thing about a barber in Atlanta. That's all you got to say. Barbers in Atlanta. Yeah, say less. You already know what that's all about. So
you know what? And I don't know why people were sending the shit to my inbox. First of all, yes, I did want to watch it, but still, don't do me like that. Like I'm some kind of person that want to see stuff like that. You know, I had to tell people stop sending that porn to my inbox.
Oh, okay. See,
I want to watch it. You know,
I think they know which inbox to send it to. You know, I think they know how that go. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with y'all.
Don't just see porn that people inbox like that. You ask them first. Ask me, do I want to see it? Don't just be sending that stuff to my inbox.
You watch it first and then get on them for sending it.
Well, the only reason I watched it so I can know what to talk about. What people kept talking about, then I see it. I want to know what I need to talk about. You know, I did it for information reasons.
Okay, information. I don't want to know kind of information. Just let that information stay wherever it may be. I don't even want to know, man. I don't even.
Yeah, this problem took a terrible turn, as always.
Yes, it's bad. So I don't even know what's going on. So
I don't know where we go from here. Where we going?
Back to the basics. You know, that's capitalism, billionaires, things of that nature. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just think that you have to have the drive, and you also have to have, you know, some luck and, you know, opportunity. You know, because every business a person creates is not going to make you $1 million. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though, I was talking about because I made a reference to the gentleman you had talked about earlier with the suits and stuff, and maybe your demographic and how that impacts whether you're going to find success, who you're targeting and things of that nature. I think it's a lot
But
of.
how is he gonna get in a circle though?
Hmm.
How is he gonna get in a circle with millionaires? How is he gonna make that connection?
I mean, he just got to find one and do a very good job.
How?
I mean, there's lots. I mean, there's more millionaires out there than you expect. I mean, you just got to know the right places. You got to be. See, what he has to do
don't
is.
you think a millionaire is gonna want to wear suits that are by well-known designers?
I think that if you can do something impressive, and if he has skills on par with someone who is a popular, well-known designer, and you can create a custom suit to an individual's liking, and
It
they
doesn't
appreciate.
look custom though. It looks plain.
Oh,
It doesn't look custom.
well, see, that's
It
the
looks
problem.
plain.
Well, then that's the problem. Then he can't, he has to cater down to his demographic. Then if he don't have something that if he doesn't have a special skill that sets him apart, then he has to kind of deal with a certain individual. But if he has something where he can stand out, he can make people look a certain way. People love to look good. So if you can do something that accents features or a look or something unique about people, then you may have a foot in the door. But if you just basic Bobby over there, then you're gonna have to just deal with the the regular everyday folks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He hasn't done that. He has to create what you're talking about, a unique design, something that sets you apart. You can't just look like everybody else and then try to charge these high prices. And you got designers that's doing their thing out there, well known, got a reputation. That's who they gonna flock to first. Like, okay, like suppose his suit costs $2,000 and an Armani suit costs $2,000. People gonna go with the Armani because they know them, they know the quality, and it's recognizable. That's Armani. I'm wearing Armani. You ain't even got to have the name out there. That's an Armani suit. Don't nobody know you.
Got that basic Bobby on, man. What you mean?
Right. That's a good name. Basic Bobby.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But,
right, but I mean, you got to try to differentiate yourself. And then, like, one of his problems is that he likes to create things that he likes and want to wear for himself. You're not the one purchasing them.
Unless you're your own model and you can really stand out with something, then you're going to be out of there.
Right. Put the name on the suit, or put some diamonds on there, put some different things on there, embellish it, do something.
Diamonds on the suit, that's some new stuff right there. I don't know.
Right. So something unique, you know what I'm saying? Got to be a lot, put a few here, just something, that's custom, like put the initials in diamonds, rich people like to. Oh shit, that's me. You know how people are. So, I'm just saying, for example, do something that's gonna get their attention. And then sometimes a lot of them stars, they be getting free suits and stuff from people unknown things.
That's a method right there too. Find you a couple of you know what I'm saying? A couple of whatchamacallits, and then you can figure it out.
Right. Exactly. they put them free products and stuff.
What'd you say, $40? What happened now? You said 40 or 400? We talking about the suits?
I seen one today who was $575, so I don't know about no 400 no more.
Yeah, when it was $570. Oh no, he was talking about some $400 suits that Rashida got the hookup.
$40? No, I said $400. I ain't say no $40.
Oh, the hairdresser. Oh man. Oh yeah. Okay. Look, y'all had me lost for a second.
$40. That's what they call for the price of coochie. That's 40. What I know.
They trash like the fuck for $40 in the club.
Right.
That's wild.
I don't know.
Look, y'all be catching me late in the night. My brain over there, I be tired, so I'll be missing out on stuff. How do you dry clean diamonds? I mean, you gotta take the suit to the dry cleaners and the jeweler. You know what I'm saying? You take that bitch to the dry cleaner, it's gonna come back with no diamonds, and they're gonna be like, oh, we ain't responsible for that. They're gonna have a new ring on and stuff. It's gonna have the same diamonds your suit had on that bitch. And they make sure they they cover themselves from all liability at the damn dry cleaners. They gonna make sure that if they fuck it up, it's your fault. That's some wild shit.
He acts like he ain't never heard of diamonds on things, or what they call it, Swarovski, them crystals or whatever the hell they
Swarovski. Man, if you want to see the funny, like, I'm not a big Saturday Night Live fan, but one of the funniest skits to me was that Swarovski crystals with Jamie Foxx.
Exactly.
Skit, and that shit was so funny because you could tell he was about to fuck that shit up, but that shit was so fucking funny because he kept a straight face, but he was about to fuck that shit up. That shit was hilarious. Swarovski, he was fucking that. That shit was fucking hilarious.
You definitely have to be careful with stuff like that, expensive embellishments or whatever.
I agree.
I mean, you wouldn't just take that to Ming Lee now, shit. You gonna take that to a designer, you just take it to no 5 and dime, dry cleaner. Come on now.
That's fucked up. And look, mom and pop dry cleaner, they trying to get rich too, shit. So you gotta take your business to the mom and pop shop, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's a bit. Is there anything else that's on your mind there, Miss Rashida, before we wind it down?
Well, I'm in Chicago, and I'll be glad when these kids go back to school.
They in school?
It doesn't make any sense. They on strike. The teachers on strike.
Oh, I didn't even know that was happening. That's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to talk
about it. Is.
You're going to have to talk about it. I didn't know that was happening. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to put that on my note list for tomorrow. We're going to talk about teacher strikes. Okay. Well, you're going to have to be the first caller tomorrow so you can talk about this teacher strike and everything that's going down and why they own that nonsense. Okay. But I don't know. I don't know. It might be hard to beat this bell, but I'm going to be looking forward for an early call from you to talk about this.
Okay. Well, I hope I can get through.
I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna send you the VIP line code.
Okay. That's cool.
All right, Miss Rashida. Well, I appreciate you calling. And yes, I gave you your pistachios. I hooked you up, and I appreciate your call.
Did you give me my early birds?
Yes, I got your early birds. I got all the early birds early.
I'm gonna check my account because I don't know if you're telling me the truth or not.
Check your balance. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Look, I gotta file taxes on these pistachios. I gotta make sure they're right. This is pistachio capitalism. All right, I appreciate it, Miss Rashida. It was nice talking to you, and I'll hear from you soon.
All right. Take care.
All right, you too. Good evening.
Good evening.
Look, I'll be late on the current events and stuff, so I'll be missing out on stuff. But folks, we're gonna get ready to wind it down. I appreciate y'all. I don't know why Miss Meat has. I appreciate the love, Miss Meat, but all your every team that you're a fan of is terrible, terrible. The worst. Yeah, you did, Ron. You didn't get your early bird because you went in here early, Ron Lisley. But you did get your call pistachios. Wait, you flipping me off? You need to be flipping your teams off, Miss Meat. They're terrible. They're bad. They're awful. And make sure you send me that timestamp so I can see what happened and confirm, whether or not I threw you under the bus. I don't think I did, but if you say so, I'm gonna go reinvestigate, reinvigorate the situate. And we'll see how that whole thing plays out. But with that being said, I'm finna go throw Scotty in the trash. And y'all barely beat the Longhorns. Stop the nonsense. That's not my team, no way. But y'all barely beat them anywho. Let me see what I gotta do. But I appreciate all of y'all. Again, it is an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure. And I thank y'all for all the calls, for the love, the some of the tomfoolery. And Scotty, you get out of my face. I ain't fooling with you right now. But you know what, Miss Grace? Because I love you some Miss Grace. I'm going to hook you up too. Let me hook Miss Grace up just because. I'm playing favorites up in here. I'm going to take all these out of Shannon's account anyway, so it don't matter. So I'll make up for all of them. With that being said, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Make sure you follow the Den on all the proper social medias, Twitter and Instagram at Den Show Live. Make sure you look in the links below, the description below. You have the links to the Den Show Facebook group and the page. So in the group we be talking crazy. Don't look at any, if you in the Facebook group, don't look at anything Shannon posts because it's probably gay. So there's that. I'm gone.